Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producers here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
I love your Rock Pit Brewing shirt on,
Thank
or
you.
Rock Pit Brewery, and I know for a fact that you are going to be celebrating your 5-year anniversary for your podcast that everybody should subscribe to. It's called Semantics, and where can you find it?
SemanticsPodcast.com.
There you go.
And when is the 5-year?
February 20th at
Cool.
noon.
Yeah, run by Rock Pit. She's got her own beer. She'll have all kinds of
We'll have
surprises.
shirts, glasses.
Yeah, there's some giveaways. You can just go out there and enjoy and celebrate 5 years of independent broadcasting from our producer, Samantha. And I think that's super cool, man.
It's awesome.
Doing anything for 5 years and doing it successfully, we know a little something about that. Maybe not the success part, but we know the doing things for a very long time. So I'm really proud of you, man. That's awesome.
It is,
5 years
yeah.
to
Thank
do
you.
your show, it's crazy.
It's 5 years of running a small business because Semantics
it's a business.
is a
100%.
business of Samantha's, and doing that for that long of a time consistently is an achievement.
Yeah, and helping us with ours as a job. So
Yeah.
I'm proud
It's
of you,
amazing.
man. It's damn
Thank you.
amazing. Let's should we get to
get
our guest?
into
I don't
it.
have an intro or anything for him. I don't.
Oh, we have the intro. He made one and we forgot.
But I thought you didn't like that
And,
one.
well, I don't like any of them.
That's
but,
true.
but if we just play it because people like intros.
I may have misplaced it.
I don't know why, but even like I listen to a lot of talk
no, I
radio
got it.
or
I got it right
podcasts,
here. I
and
got it.
I
It's
like
so
the
bad.
intros to things.
I got
and I'm
it,
like,
but
play
not
the
for our show.
Okay, I'm playing the intro then. Here's the intro. I got it.
Oh, God.
Do you like theme parks? I like theme parks. Do you like gambling? I still like gambling. Fun fact, those two things have absolutely nothing to do with each other, and that's okay. Coming up next, it's Parks and Parlays with Joey Mazant. Exclusively on A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan.
Oh my God! It
I
sounds like a
forgot-
manifesto. It's an audio manifesto
I
from
forgot how
someone that
horrible it
lives in the
was.
desert that wants to kill other people. Right? It sounds
yeah.
like it's. You know what it sounds like to me? I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it here. I don't have any buttons to change it. It sounds like
You're listening to Radio Freedom. Hello. If anyone can hear this, I am live in the desert. I'm live in the
Mayday.
desert.
We shouldn't have
After
played
the
that.
nuclear holocaust, we have repopulated the desert.
that's what it sounds. They sound like crazy people.
Post-apocalyptic
Yeah, it
video
sounds
game.
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Like you're the last guy. You're broadcasting. It's like that stupid the Black Parade. What's that band?
Oh, My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, My Chemical Romance. Yeah, that guy, the Gerard Way. He loves that stuff. He's like, it's the end of the world. Remember they did a whole album where it's like, the end of the world, it's radio spiders. And we're just broadcasting to nobody because this is the new freedom. And I'm like, what does that even mean?
My wife's on the couch here. I forgot.
Your wife's on the couch.
Well,
Why don't you say your
twins-
wife is a guest on our show? No, my wife is on the couch. And I'm going to command her now. She's about to be commanded.
She freaked me out because when you came in here, I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah,
Like,
we're
what?
having an intervention.
No, I knew it was
Well,
gonna-
this morning, it's perfect
No,
timing.
come on. Don't talk about
What's
it.
happening? I need to know.
No, nothing's happening.
Oh, I like
Is he-
your Dracula impression. What's happening?
What's
I must
happening?
know. I must know what's happening.
No.
You do good voices. We need to have you on more often. This is fun.
So let's get to Joey's segment here because we got a lot to talk about. The
Grandpa
parks.
wants to get
My
back
wife
to
can-
business.
No,
Yeah.
it's just-
I was
my wife
having
can
fun
hang
with
out.
your wife on the couch.
So Joey mentioned something when you first walked in, and you gave us a little trivia because you brought some delicious Toll Road beer.
Yeah, I got some right here.
And did you pour some for me?
No.
That's on me. I'm a horrible host. I do apologize.
Now I can't
Give him the
help
juice.
I can't help but notice, and this is I'm being serious here. This is not a goof. And this will be good for us to segue into something we can talk about. I can't help but notice that Joey is one of the most prepared listeners that we have. He comes by. He's always, bringing us a little treat. I put you up there with a Chris Crespo. Chris Crespo does
Honored.
something I've talked about many, many times. Whenever he comes to your show, he'll bring like a treat, like a snick snack or something for you. And you brought some Solo cups, and they have beer in them. But this Solo cup has been redesigned. This is a newly designed Solo cup. So does the old, wives' tale of the lines on the Solo cup meaning different ounce sizes? Is that still correlate to this new designed Solo cup?
Doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it,
No.
right?
I
This
think
is
they're
not-
just getting fancy.
Was that real or was that a myth? I thought that the Solo company came out and said, yeah, you guys are idiots. We never made that.
That's just the mold in
Yeah.
our Chinese factory.
Yeah, it's our Chinese factory mold, and you guys
Yeah.
are dumb enough to believe that everything has a
I-
purpose, and it does not.
I have no idea, but
Oh, that's delicious. What is that?
That is a NEPA, New England IPA. For the good
very
guys
good.
at Toll Road, it is called It's Wicked Hazy, Joey. And
Yeah.
it is their fun fact, only 3 people have ever had a beer named after them at Toll Road. One is the owner of Dead Lizard Brewing.
Okay.
One is hero and friend Mike Aiello. And one
Okay.
is this guy.
Yay!
Only
You're right
3
up there
people.
with Mike.
Yeah,
This is delicious.
they'll do it for us. No big deal. Of course.
I mean, we kind of,
yeah.
we, you know, I wasn't going to talk about this today, but your wife's here and she needs to hear this too.
Okay, good.
She needs to hear this. Everybody needs to hear this. This entire city's on notice because we're going to start slinging our dick around.
No, come on. Samantha's
It just had to be said.
right.
I can't even see the timestamp for
We
this.
have been working so hard to build this company up, but now we're going to use what we've built. We're going to start knocking some things over.
No.
If you know what I mean.
With
It's
our dicks.
helicopter
Yes,
with our dicks. It's helicopter time, baby.
All right.
Whoosh, whoosh.
So anyway, Joey, you said, hey, do you guys know?
God, I had one sip of beer and that happened.
I know, my heart stopped going so fast. Anyway, so Joey said, hey, do you guys know what's the first bar that opens on Disney property? And I'm like, wait, save it for the show.
Is it a joke?
So
You think it's a dad joke?
No, I thought he was gonna say like it's the I don't know, like I'm trying to think of a character.
It
who has-
drives me nuts.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted like the word bar in there. He's like, what's the first bar that opens on Disney property? So I would say like, oh, it's obviously if there was like a guy named
Steve Barrington.
Yeah,
yeah,
it'd be
I get
like
you.
Goof
Okay.
Bar. You know, like I'm trying to think of a joke.
So Joey, what is it?
So every day that I go to Hollywood Studios, park opens at 9, actually opens at 8:30, doors are cracked at 7:30. I show up at 6 a.m. because if you go to the Swan and Dolphin Resort, you can walk into the place called Fuel. They start serving beer at 6 a.m.
Really?
my
Don't
God,
judge.
man.
Don't judge. Be
Fuel?
nice.
Give me fuel. Give me fire. Give me that which I desire.
So
I thought you were going to tie in as a good buthing that we just signed up Toll Road as a watering hole, but
No,
I guess
no.
you just jumped over that.
No, his heart's doing it again.
I think I said something about that
Okay.
at the beginning, but yeah,
mumbled through it.
Toll Road is our new watering hole sponsor, and we will have everything set up in March 1st. But they're up on the site now, and
Yeah.
they have delicious beers.
Hey, drop by there. Tell them we said hey.
So 6 a.m. So basically, they just start serving alcohol as soon as they open.
Only beer and wine, no liquor, because apparently there's I don't know, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to
There's a
drink liquor.
stigma for
Yeah.
the liquor. Okay.
Okay.
Why do they do that? Like, you know, I've always
Alcohol's
because
alcohol.
in breakfast drinks is like your Bloody Marys is liquor.
Right.
Your like any other breakfast
Why do
alcohol.
Mimosas?
Mimosas.
I don't even know why we have times for alcohol. I mean, I love, and I've talked about this, the proper time to drink a beer is right when you wake up.
Dude,
I feel like it
my-
makes you feel good. Like it's a good I've always loved morning drinking. I adore it. It's my favorite because by the end of the day, you've like kind of walked off your hangover and then you can go back to bed like regular. You don't have to go back to bed like crocked.
My family's always asked, they go, you drink a lot on Disney property. I'm like, well, in my defense, I drink a lot everywhere, but I'm listening. And they said, what's your favorite beer? And I just said, the next one.
So
I like
that's
that.
a true
Yeah,
joke.
you got 'em all loaded up, too.
Right? I wish I had kids so I could do these jokes. I wish.
So Joey, what holidays? Because I was thinking like Valentine's Day, Mardi Gras, like all these different events are happening around this time. And what parks recognize what holiday? Like the Universal Studios, they do Mardi Gras. But does Disney properties do Mardi Gras?
They don't do Mardi Gras. They do what's called the Festival of the Arts, which is basically food and wine with painters.
Do they have a cartoon alligator that speaks in a weird jumbo jambo kind of way? Like, I want him to be like, hey, everybody, come try my cornbread. That's what I want. If they have that, I'm in.
He was on Splash Mountain. He's gone now.
Yeah, I need something that like is slightly problematic. I need yellow, green, and purple sash. I need the alligator to have a monocle, top hat, cane.
And there's some sort of like graveyard.
Yeah, there's got to be a graveyard.
Yeah,
There's got to be like people at a funeral, but they're not sad. They're laughing.
Yeah.
You know, there's got to be some Zatarans. Because Zatarans, they zazz it up.
Some whistling and the thing.
Second
what
line.
is that called?
So here's what I want to know about the entertainment at the theme parks. It's when I think like Mardi Gras, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a jazz band, or I always want it to be something pertaining to Mardi Gras. But then it's like DJ Khaled, and
Yeah.
marshmallow. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's-
Because kids are not going to come out there to see like some tuba player and like, you know,
But then
like they're, you know,
They wanna
kids,
see
kids don't
DJ
want that.
Khaled.
They want to be lit, and I'm sorry that's
But
not
I
good.
want that.
What do you want?
I want that tuba player. Or
Yeah,
Well,
but
you're they're not catering
you
to
like a softer kind of lit.
you
whatever.
know.
I'm a kid.
I know. I know. I'm fighting it too.
You know, we're all old now,
Yeah,
and then
we are.
if you're catering
We
to
are.
20-year-olds, then
I'm sorry, you
we're not
just
gonna-
can't get lit, fam.
They're middle age. I would say old. They're middle age.
But then why do they also have Styx and Leonard Skinner performing? And why do they also, you know what I mean?
Well, they're
Like,
trying to hit them all, right? Like, do you have the rundown of what they have this year? Because I
was
think it's
trying
really
to
good.
Find the concerts.
I think it's good.
I think their core is not kids though.
No.
Just because they.
But I'm with
I got it for you.
Crystal. I like if we're gonna do a Mardi Gras event. Like one of the things I used to like on Universal Properties is what is that place? Pat O'Brien's.
heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, Sugar Ray.
Yeah, big
right?
fan of Pat O'Brien's. I get the big hurricane and they got the jazz music playing and
second-
muffalata or something. Yeah, it's fun. I
Diana
like
Ross, Bare Naked Ladies, Styx, John Party.
that. Who's John Party?
He's a country
Oh,
singer.
P-A-R-D-Y,
Yeah.
not John Party. John
P-A-R-D-I.
Party's what Tom calls himself when he takes all his clothes off at his pool party.
LL Cool J featuring DJ Z Trip, Marshmello, Lee Bryce, and Becky G.
Who's Z-Trip? Why they got to put that on? Like, LL's a big enough star on his own without having to tell me who the
don't
DJ
know.
is.
Do you
Yeah.
think maybe it's a guy on his label that he's trying to be like promote?
Well,
type of
Yeah,
thing?
he'd be dragging him along.
Those are not acts for young people.
No,
except for Marshmallow.
except for Marshmello.
Yeah.
But are they acts for our age? I don't feel like any of those bands appeal to me at all.
Well, LL Cool J is our
Sugar
generation.
Ray?
Sugar
Maybe.
Ray
Who's your
is
music
our
artist right
generation.
now? Who are you
Styx?
listening to? Country?
I can't.
Adele?
I can't say.
Oh.
That's
You can't
It's too
say or you don't
embarrassing.
want to say.
It's too embarrassing.
Well,
Okay.
yeah. That's
I too
It's
like
called
yin
confused.
yang twins. I too. I'll take the bullet. I love a good yin yang, and I have been. It's
My
been
wife's
stuck
like-
in my CD player for years.
I get stuck in the 90s.
Yeah, you're listening to what you used to listen to,
Yeah.
like
That's
everybody
not
else
true.
does.
I saw when you walked in here, you were talking about 2 Chainz's new album. This dope ain't gonna sell itself. It's a good album. Man.
Can I ask you, what does it mean to have your hands upon your knees and on your bones on your thighs? I still don't understand. I just,
my hands upon my knees. I got the boot to do that.
It's bows,
Aye,
like elbows.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
sorry, I'm old.
Hands on the knees and the boat.
I'm not
Let's
hip and
not
cool
turn
like
this
you.
into dumb old men talk about
Breakdown
song
rap lyrics.
I got my bones in my thighs. Bones. Oh, no. Anyway, so the Mardi Gras party. What special thing happens for any of these events?
The good news is they brought back the parade. Hold on, you got to giggle.
I'm good.
Okay, they brought back the parade, which is cool. So
Ah.
you stand, you catch the beads. You know, over 100,000 beads a night are thrown. It's really cool. My nephew loves it. I bring him every year. It's
How many park guests show their T's? They're like, because there's got to be at least one
happens.
drunk
It happens,
redneck
yeah.
lady.
Yeah.
No, but it's usually the redneck guys. The women are usually respectful. They drink and they giggle, but it's always the dudes
Yeah.
who are like, let me show you the
Yeah,
titties.
guys
Oh,
love
yeah.
taking their
Yeah.
shirts off now.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Bert
Well, you get-
Kreischer. Now every fat guy that looks like you with a flat brim was on taking his shirt off at Universal.
If
Great.
you lift your shirt up and you're a man at Universal or whatever,
You should be
are they-
tased, I feel like.
Is security gonna ask you like? Is
No.
someone gonna?
No,
no.
You can walk around. You can walk around without a shirt for a little bit, and then they'll come up to you and say, like, "Sir, could you please put a shirt on?"
Well,
but I think at Universal you could get a solid.
It's a little looser at Universal.
Yeah, at Universal, I feel like I could do 20 Mississippis with my shirt off, and no one's gonna say anything.
I'll
Yeah.
just take that bet. Let's make that part of the parlay.
Like at
portion.
Disney, I think as soon as it comes over, as soon as that neck hole breaches your nose, they're on you. I feel like.
Hey pal. Hey pal. Hey pal.
Yeah, I've had it with a pocket knife before at Disney. It was scary because it was in my pocket. And I'm like, man, you can see the outline. I'm like, damn.
They're
You
good.
know, it was, and then they made me lock it up. And then at the end of the day, I could go back to this little locker and get my pocket knife out.
So,
I carry a pocket knife because I'm trashy.
Joey, to continue the theme of drinking,
Amen.
First bar that opens 6 a.m. And any other tips and tricks as far as getting the best bang for your buck around the parks? I think we've asked you before, but
Yep.
all the prices are basically the same.
We
right?
made this joke before. It's just like going to a concert or a high school dance. Not that I condone drinking at that age, but you drink in the parking lot before you go in.
There's no happy hours or anything
Every
like
hour's
that.
happy at the Magic Kingdom.
Okay,
And
but
that's what
not like a 2-for-1.
2-for-1.
Yeah,
What does this
yeah,
look
yeah.
like? Downtown Orlando on a Thursday? Get out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. So it's basically just going to be super expensive if you drink at the parks. There's no way around it.
It's shocking the number of people in our Twitch chat room that have been banned from Universal property.
Good for them.
Like lots of people.
Because you get too drunk and then they'll basically, if you're stumbling around, their cameras pick it up and then they swarm you, right?
Gotta be fun though in a weird way. It's gotta be kind of fun to watch those cameras. I'm not saying dealing with the people, possibly getting to an altercation or anything, but I wouldn't mind sitting back there looking at the wall of TVs and just watching people fall down for a little while.
I wonder if they have some sort of
fun.
They probably have some sort of technology now that just picks up on people's behavior based on body movements, and then
Do you know anything about this?
This was going to be part of the thing we talked about today if we had time. I don't know if we will, but did you hear about the couple that just got caught mop on the Tomorrowland Transit Authority in Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom?
I did hear about that. So how did they find them?
Well, people don't understand. There's this thing called a black light camera or a night vision camera.
Sure.
So people think, oh, it's pitch black. I've got about 80 seconds to live my high school dream, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know that you're being watched by 80,000 different security guards, right? And they're like, I did not know that until I got off the ride, and they told me that I was being watched. It's like, ooh.
So even in the dark, obviously they have night vision cameras watching everything. Of course,
Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, call back to yesterday's episode.
But I'm just saying. The technology's been there for years.
One night in Tomorrowland.
And there's no area of the park that you could even duck behind the camera. So every angle of all the parks, because
I've always thought, and this has been a small fantasy of mine, I've always thought that with people not seeing, that it would be possible for me to slip into a bush or maybe one of those brown trash cans, slip in there and just hide and then wait till they shut the park down and then I come out and I'm in. Yeah! That's been one of my dreams. I got a weird, leave me in the mall, Corduroy the bear or something.
You want to come out when everything's closed?
Yeah, like a cartoon bear, like Corduroy from the book Corduroy comes out in the department store.
Yeah.
And
looking for his button?
Yeah, he's looking for his button. Yeah, that's me.
What the hell are you talking about?
And I did it one time.
Don't worry. Me and your
what do you
wife
mean?
So it was a really this goes back to when I first met you. Good Lord, 15 years ago, whenever it was. I was at the Hard Rock, and I got to meet the cast of Harry Potter. And I had never seen the movies. I had never read the books. I had nothing. But these two twin brothers were super nice guys, and they go, hey, we want to look around. We looked around, showed them around. They said, hey, we're going to go sing karaoke. Do you want to come join us? I'm like, okay. And I go sing karaoke with them, and oh my gosh, the entire cast of the movie's there. The only one I recognized was Sir Michael Gambon. I didn't even know who that was. Alan Rickman, they're there. It's like, oh my gosh. We ended up becoming friends. We went to Disney, walked around. The guy that runs the Rose and Crown pub in the UK was such a big fan. He let them, their 5 friends, and me, we sat there and we drank until 10 o'clock at night, and then all the lights started going down. And I asked the manager, I was like, are we good? He goes, yeah, let me get you another round. Got some round, hung out, it's 11 o'clock. He goes, I'm so sorry, guys. We have to ask you to leave. I said, we'll take our time. It's extra magic hours. He goes, yeah, it closed at 10. I said, what? He goes, right now there's 14 people in the park. You, me, and 5 security guards waiting to walk you to your car. And I was like, that's awesome.
Well, would they just let you do it because...
That's cool.
Yeah, Catholic guilt permits me from doing anything like actually doing that, but...
Okay, let's end with this.
Yeah, because we got our guest.
Understood.
You brought some Super Bowl bets in. Of course, the biggest bet game of the year. All the parlays are out. What do you suggest? Because I got one that I think you'll like, Joey.
Well, I'm excited. Oh, you gonna let me take you to Vegas this time?
Well, I can bet on my app now, so
okay. You don't need me. You don't need me anymore.
I mean, if
traditionalist.
we had to put some big money down, we'd have to fly to Vegas, or at least I'll get Tiffany to drive over.
Yeah,
I can get someone.
She's a brand new baby.
That's all right. Hey, brand new moms need that getaway. You want to go get a coffee, have some time away? They like that. They need that.
She went on a date. The baby was 3 days old.
I know. That's the second one.
Well, they're rich because that's what you can do.
Well, they got a big family too.
You're rich. You got a big family. You can go. On
I'm poor, and all my family's dead. Well, I'm not poor, but you know what I mean.
Dates for you.
I still haven't left my kids with anybody.
Wow.
Well, yeah, we
family.
have.
Except the nanny.
No,
but I leave it with family.
You're talking about overnight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean,
never been away from our kids overnight.
Well, that's stupid. We need to.
Really? I beat you guys on that one. I thought you guys had let them stay at somebody else's house without you before. No?
We let them stay with the nanny one time.
One night we went to Tampa.
Yeah. Nice. And that was it. That was the last time.
That's the only time we've ever been without them overnight.
I let May stay with her grandpa in DeLand. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Bang, crazy.
What do we got, Joey?
I picked a few of my favorites because they think this is going to be a high-scoring game. So I just went with the usual. Tails never fail, so I'll throw 100 on Tails. I'm going to take, is a sack going to happen before a touchdown? I took touchdown because I don't think either of these defenses are strong enough to own up. I'm going to go with first touchdown of the game is going to be passing because I don't think any of these guys have the cojones to actually run the ball up the middle because it's literally a game of fear at this point. I'm taking the Bengals over team to first get a field goal because, again, I don't think either of these guys has the ability to own up and actually run forward. I think we're playing safe. I think that everybody needs their job next year. Blame it on COVID. Blame it on the fact that nothing's coming out of college. They need it. And last but not least, I'm going all the way at the end for the highest scoring quarter only because it's at plus 450. I'm going the third because I think what's going to happen is the first half of the game, Ish is going to go down, and then somebody's going to get that empowering Rudy-esque speech in the locker room, and it's going to motivate the third quarter to come out there and stomp ass. So I'm going to go third because I know I can throw about $150 on it and pull 7.
Joey, you threw out a lot of. You need to stick to math instead of, your knowledge of football.
You're feeling a lot of
because I feel a lot of emotional bets here and horrible math bets, especially the coin toss.
Are you guys betting against it? Like, is it your bets versus his bets? Which bets do the best?
I'm not saying these are not winners. I'm just saying it doesn't seem like
should
there's
have
any
taken
edge
maybe
here.
a bit more of an analytical and cold approach to it.
I'm sorry about that.
And we do have limited time, so what's yours?
One prop I'll give you is Sean McVay or the Rams called the first time out. They've called the first time out in the last 9 games in a row, and it looks like Sean McVay doesn't value timeouts that much. So he's been in here before. I imagine him calling the first time out, just sticking with that trend. Plus, you can get a good value on it. I think they're valuing it as a minus 115.
That's worth it to you because you're looking at a 1.11% return. So at that point, it's 11% in your favor minus the 5. So you're looking at about a 0.035. It's a good return. Good bet.
Yeah.
I like that.
More than, I think, 50% chance like they're positioning it. Because they're both
dude, you know me, 50%. I'll throw $1,000 on a 50% chance. But then again, still high him.
All right, Joey. We'll talk to you next
seeing
month.
You, man. Thanks for the beer.
Thank you, guys.
Love to Toll Road. I'm glad that they are a new watering hole for us. Stop by there and give them some Tom and Dan love. Anything else?
Nope. We'll be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. This gentleman's going to be at Porky's Comedy Club Friday and Saturday. One show Friday, one show Saturday. And you can get tickets at porkyscomedyclub.com.
Indeed.
Stephen Michael Quezada's on the line with us. How you doing, Stephen?
I'm good. I'm headed your way right now. I'm in an Uber headed to the airport.
It's got to be weird for like the way that we communicate now with a lot of like Zooming and FaceTiming and stuff like that. Or we can't be the first show that you've done like media for in an Uber, right?
Probably like my 4th or 5th one, but try not to do it. But I was in a hotel and I was hungry and I thought I'll just go to the airport earlier. I'm right now in Fort Myers.
Oh, right on.
I did a show here last night, and so it's just a quick little flight over to you guys. And I got hungry, man. So I called the Uber to get me to the airport. But, it's all good. It's all good, man. I don't mind doing it in the car. Technology is pretty amazing when it works.
Yeah, correct.
Stephen, I got to ask you a question because, I was researching you, and of course, we all know you from Breaking Bad and then some other movies, and we'll talk about that. But
I think our Twitch chat room thought we were being arrested. I mean, based on the character he plays. Like when they saw you pop up in the chat room, everybody's like, "Oh my God, they're being." Yeah.
So, but I'm curious about you. May be the only comedian we've ever talked to, and we've talked to hundreds and hundreds that have ever been a part of their local school board, and in 2013
multiple times, you take it dead serious.
So what made you get involved and want to do that? Because most of the comedians are too busy to ever even take on that venture or do anything like that.
Well, I served on the school board, but now I'm a county commissioner. So I did what I could for education in New Mexico, but I come from a background where I did gang intervention programs, and I've always been involved in the community and how I can, put my 2 cents in and how to do better. I look at my own life and think, what were the problems with me having an opportunity, have a pathway to success, and how do I bring that to the kids and in the neighborhoods where I grew up, and you're right. It's hard to have been playing a DEA agent on TV because now I can't go to no more parties in the hood, man.
I didn't think about that.
So, Steven, so you
I
know,
didn't invite.
you know better than anybody that the only way to make change is to get involved in the local government, and most people
That's
do.
where it starts, 100%.
Yeah, most people do just want to like bitch about it on the internet, and they, and never want to figure out how to change it, and then and you're like, well, I'm gonna do something about it myself.
And it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and how much extra work is it? Because I think a lot of people don't even realize what is that being involved in the local government.
Yeah.
They don't
Give
even
us a
know.
peek into that, maybe.
Yeah. So how many hours a week does that take you?
I work 7 days a week. I'm always working. So whether I'm on a Zoom meeting for commission, working on, whatever we're working on, so many different aspects to being a commissioner, from behavioral health to infrastructure to job creation. We have the jail that's under my watch. It's in my district. So I got to look at, the MDC, which is the Metropolitan Detention Center. Everything from sidewalks to roads. There's just we're always trying to figure out how to do better. I'm one of those guys that, I represent all people. I'm not, once I ran for office and won, I represent all parties. I'm no longer a Democrat or Republican. I'm a community service guy. I got to listen to both sides. I got to compromise, and we've got to figure out a way forward, man. And so I've been very successful at that. And you're right. Local government is where it's at. We get too caught up in the federal government, and I'm sorry, man. I'm not seeing them do their job, either side. I'm hoping they get to work, because there's a lot of things that we got to at least try, right? And if we don't get it right, then we fix it. I tell people all the time, we write things down on paper. We don't chisel stuff in stone anymore because, well, first of all, we're not as confident as the Aztecs or the Egyptians or whatnot. So we don't put it in stone. We write it on paper. So if it doesn't work, we go back and fix it, right? But we got to do something. We got to start moving things forward. We got to try things. We're living in the great experiment. That's what the United States of America is. They did their best to put out an outline, and then we've got to take that outline and figure out how to do better. And that's what we work on. So I have a great assistant, so that's how I'm able to pull off a lot of stuff. I have a super awesome assistant, Margarita. So she makes sure that my schedule's tight, that I make all my meetings, that I make all my votes, that I'm constantly reading and making sure that I'm on top of whatever we're working on. And on top of that, I'm auditioning. I just did an audition this morning in my hotel room. It was the craziest thing for a TV series, So, and then I'm on tour. I have my comedy special coming out this year that I shot at the Tribeca Film Festival.
Wow.
I've never put out a comedy special, but when Robert De Niro calls you can't tell that guy no. You're afraid of him.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah, he called you up personally.
Yeah, they wanted me to film my special at the Tribeca Film Festival, him and his daughter, and so I did it. So that's coming out this year.
Oh, that's awesome. And when Robert De Niro calls you, does it say Robert De Niro on your caller ID on your cell phone, or does it say his
Bobby D?
Is it his publicist or his marketing agency? How does that work?
It just says answer now.
And then you're right. Like if someone that famous asks me to do anything, I'm doing it. It's just that's my rule. Whatever it is, I'm like, well, this has got to be a good idea.
Were you already a friend with Robert De Niro, or was it one of those things where you had to verify it maybe in your own mind, or were you guys already close?
No, we're not close. I've never worked with him or anything, but I guess some of the guys that from Comedy Dynamics was meeting with them said that they looked at one of my shows, so he wanted to take a look at it. They liked it, and so they said, we want to shoot it ourselves here at Tribeca, get him on the phone. And so, we did it, man. It's amazing. I flew out to New York and shot it during the Tribeca Film Festival, which was really cool because Brian Cranston was there, and he was a judge, so I got to go have dinner with my buddy, and get a good pep talk from Bryan Cranston before I shot it, and So I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate. I do have some pretty famous friends. I'm not a famous guy. I'm not a. That's what's hard about getting in comedy clubs, because they're like, oh man, here's another celebrity that thinks he's a comedian. And then what happens is, then I go in and perform, and then they realize that I'm a comedian that thinks he's a celebrity.
Well, Steven, I was going to ask you about
you've been doing
that.
this a very long time.
Yeah, and it's like, and this happens to certain actors all the time, where they are involved in a role that at the time wasn't a big deal, and then it blew up, and then next thing you know, then that's, you're so famous from this role that's.
Well, Bryan Cranston, even. I mean, there was a lot of us knew him from Malcolm in the Middle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when that happened, it was like a different level, and the same with you. It's like everybody that was on that show. That show was such a massive vehicle,
But I'm sure, meanwhile, for you, you're like you just go back to what you've been doing, and then everybody
local government, love your community, love your area, trying to help families and help out people. You like acting, you enjoy comedy.
Was there a particular year that all of a sudden, because it seemed like Breaking Bad kind of blew up all at the same time? Was there something that all of a sudden, like, you were walking down the street and you were being recognized every single time you left your house? Like, what was that moment like? You realized how popular that show got?
So we're shooting it in season 3, and it's Netflix, and then it just exploded. It blew up, man. It was we shot up to being the #1 TV series, in the world. Netflix, and so I'm at Walmart buying my daughters their stuff. We don't have to go into depth about what I was buying at Walmart for my daughters. But then people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, hey, you're Gomi, man," and I'm like, "No, I'm not, and I don't like that guy." I tell him.
Well, then I was going to talk to you about that, Steven, because like being involved in local government, and then also being as famous as you are from a show, you start realizing
Sounds like a very difficult job.
But then also how people are just calling you by the actor's name. You're like, that's not me. Do you understand how anything works?
Yeah, or something
works?
happens and they look at you and they're like, well, just arrest him. And you're like, yeah, I'm not that real.
It's what like soap stars went through when people expected they didn't understand.
They're all cheaters, and they're all, exactly. I'm not a DEA, but I think people had to kind of, work their way through that. You're right. There's some people that just can't connect one from the other or separate it.
And that's what you need to be there to help those people.
Look, the great thing that ever happened to me, we all know that, right? It's, actors work their whole lives, and great ones, way better than me. Actors out there that are, top notch, but never ever get that kind of opportunity where you're on the greatest show ever and you have those trophies sitting on your desk that I feel I haven't earned yet. So I'm continually getting better as an actor. I'm continually, working. I just did a Christmas. That's why I look so young. I just did a Christmas movie, and I decided just to, just diet instead of having to go through makeup every day. I'll go in 2 hours earlier. I go, just diet, man. I'm giving up. I quit. Diet.
It looks good. So, it looks good. You can pull it off. When I do mine, it looks
smooth, man.
So fake. It's just stinky old white people. You look at me and I look so old and shriveled.
It looks fake on me too, man. It does, but it is what it is,
100%.
Stephen Michael Quezada is going to be at Porky's Comedy Club in Kissimmee.
Snag your tickets.
Yeah, get your tickets, porkyscomedyclub.com. Stephen, thanks so much for talking to us. We appreciate you taking the time to call us in an Uber.
Yeah, safe travels, my friend, and enjoy your time here in Orlando.
I'm going to. It's perfect timing. I'm pulling right up to the airport right now. I'm headed your way.
All right,
awesome.
man.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for plugging my show. I hope people come out and give me a shot. So far so good. The show I did last night, they already called my manager and they want to book me for the weekend.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
They were like, God, we didn't know. I'm on Frontier because that's the only lies within the state of Florida.
Yeah. Well, good luck with Frontier, man, and we'll talk to you when you get into town. All right. Oh.
See you, Stephen.
Bye-bye.
So,
We had a connection issue toward the end there.
Yeah, that's why.
It happens, yeah.
I was going to talk to him about. I was thinking about this in local government. The biggest problem of local government are crazy cat ladies, and I'll explain. Right. So every single time I see a local government meeting, it's always
it's
the
a
same.
city council meeting.
It's
Yeah,
city council or local whatever, school board and all that, and then there's a closed camera video of it. So it's usually in the
it's
corner.
Just
or
the
whatever.
documentation, a public record recording of the thing.
But it's always like the same angle because it's just a video camera that turns on when the meetings are on.
It's up top.
Yeah, and they show and then they give the time for all right, now it's time for the community. You get 2 minutes, and then there's a
they
line.
always have too many papers.
There's a line of, and I'll put the crazy cat ladies and then the crazy old hoarder men that stand in line.
It's because they have the time.
There's only two people. It's the lady that has too many cats and cat feces all over her property, or the old man that has so much junk on his property that he then took the junk and formed it into a sculpture of a middle finger that he doesn't want to tear down, but he leaves that middle finger up that he made out of junk to give a big middle finger to all the different liens they've put on his property. And it's like, why don't you just pay it like the rest of us instead of giving a big middle finger? You're
so this
stand your ground, Dan.
So then they get up on the podium and start talking crazy for 2 minutes.
My cats
and
cannot get their sleep because they are building it. Oh my God.
And then you have all these people on the board that they don't
want to be there either.
They're a lot of them are volunteering the time because local government doesn't pay that much. You could argue whether they want it for the power, but the what power? They're trying to, usually a lot of them are trying to do something better for the community, but they have to sit and listen to the crazy old man hoarder and the crazy cat lady, and then they're sitting there for them because they have to give them the 2 minutes. What I'm saying is that they should hire me to go, and I'll do it on the internet because I'm not going to show up live. Well, I'll just look at the line and be like, you, get the hell out of here. You're not allowed to talk.
Do that.
I can tell because
totally
whatever you're going to say doesn't represent the community.
You got to start
crazy.
profiling the crazies like Studio
get
54.
Out of here.
You do like Studio 54. You go like,
you're wasting all our time.
You go just like old disco clubs. You're like, you're in, too fat. You're in.
I'm like, all right, this guy.
Ugly, you're in.
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
This person looks like he actually has something legitimate to say. This crazy cat lady with bird doodle on it, get the hell out of here.
Here's an idea. If you come in like this guy that's famous and you have a boot on your head, your name's Vermin Supreme, you don't get to talk.
Yeah.
You don't get to talk. I'm sorry.
Whatever
because you decided to put a boot on your head, we took away your ability to talk at the meeting. That's how it works.
And that's perfectly
now,
fine.
if you want to take the boot off your head and have a real name, what's your real name, Vermin Supreme? Oh, your real name is Charles Lexington. Okay, there we go. Charles Lexington that doesn't have a boot on his head now. He can talk at the meeting. But you got to put a boot on your head, you got to go lay in the parking lot and just wait to die. We don't care about you.
And
we don't care about you.
And then he can scream all he wants about there's a free country. I have my right to say. You don't.
You're wasting
you're wasting everybody's time and you're ruining it for everybody. We all are here to try to do something good and make the community better.
We're trying.
And your crazy garbage middle finger and screaming about
we're trying to
whatever.
do something. You know what the problem
Get the hell
is?
out
You
of
have
here.
too many cats. I know you love your cats, but you have too many
It's a
of them.
mental problem.
You have
a
too
mental
many
problem.
of them. You don't need that many cats. You know what you really need? You need friends. You don't need cats. You need friends, and you need friends to tell you to not have so many cats. And then those friends, maybe they can help you get out of your house occasionally. Maybe you meet a nice young man or woman and get a relationship going.
Now, just so we're fair, you'll get one opportunity. Now, if what you're saying
You only
isn't
get one shot.
You only get one
crazy,
shot
now,
at it.
if you
Are you talking about with the boot on your head?
even with the boot, if you're saying
this
something,
is where Tom
because
and I disagree. I say no shots.
because I'm not gonna everybody has a right to wear a boot on their head.
No,
but
not in my court. They don't.
But you don't have
I'll slap it right off your head.
But you're just if you waste everybody's time with your talking about aliens and Kanye West, I don't want to hear it. Get the hell out of here. We're trying to get business done. Anyway.
He's right. He's right. I would vote for you. I would vote for you.
They just need a friend, right? That's really
that's what I'm
it
saying.
is.
They're lonely and
write it down and then submit it, and we'll punt it in the
He's
trash.
right. I mean, in a weird way, he's right. I mean, they are lonely, and it's mental illness, right? If these people had friends and people to be around, they wouldn't have to seek out the county council meeting to walk up there and talk about this stuff. The only reason they're saying this is because they have no one else to say it to.
Yeah. And again, I respect your right if you're to speak to the local government if what you're saying is valid. But if what you're saying is total nonsense, get the hell out of here.
Why do the people with the boot on their head and total nonsense
Yeah.
But they'll have all their research. They got all the papers when they come up with it. Here's another thing. I'm going to streamline. If you're a crazy person and you want to speak at one of these meetings, one of these council meetings, right? Let me help you out. You waste about the first 5 to 7 minutes just pulling your roll-on luggage up there with all your scattered papers. Leave that at home. Just leave that at home. Just walk right up there and just speak your authentic self. It's going to be just as crazy, and you're not going to waste the time.
Now, there is some decent comedy, and while they're yelling about, don't tread on me, or whatever the hell they're yelling about, and
there was some weird name,
looking at the
like,
faces of
my
the
name
people.
is Billy Viking or something.
Yeah. Looking at you're throwing your Viking helmet or whatever.
Yeah.
And
or you're screaming. You see that one guy? He's like, "We will not stand for it." He's like screaming. I'm like, "All right, man, come on."
But then you look
what
at
are you doing?
The old people on the board, and then they have to listen to it. That is kind of funny.
I like when they look down, though.
Oh yeah.
Here's another one I like. I like when they look down, they're so uncomfortable, and then they have another person to their side that is their job is to be the heavy, so they go, "And that's your time."
Totally calm.
Someone's got to show
And
them
it's
up.
always overmodulated. Hold on, I didn't even do it right. It's got to be the mic's got to be all the way up. It's gonna. And that's your time. Why did they do that?
And they don't even acknowledge. This guy just screamed that Kanye West came from space. You didn't even acknowledge it. Yeah, like at least be like,
They do the bye-bye.
They do a bye-bye because I guess
That means
legally
they heard
they
it
have
so
to let
much.
the person get it out, right?
Right.
Legally, I mean that's the rules.
Yeah.
You're
Is
supposed
rules.
to hear it out, yeah.
And then it's like, how much of this stuff have you heard to be so deadpan?
Oh, yeah.
You probably hear it all day long.
You're zoning it out crazy.
Oh yeah. That's local government, and those people ruin it because when I see it, I'm like, well, I don't want to get up there and be associated with these people because then
You're not, that's my time and me.
Yeah. And then it's
I'd
like,
rather just let it be bad.
Yeah, and if everybody's crazy that's talking, then I don't want to get up there because then you think I'm crazy.
There should be a
Don't want to be associated with them, so you just won't speak your piece.
That's I think why people don't get involved in local government because they see the stereotype of the crazy.
Yeah, I think there is an element of that like even if you did, let's say you did have a zoning issue or something that was like just mildly inconsiderate of, of something you wanted changed. Tom's right. You watch the guy there that gets up there with a boot on his head and he acts stupid and then they do the whole thing and then you're like, they're going to think I'm that guy.
Yes,
And
yeah,
And you're like, is it
screw
really
it.
that big of a deal? And you're kind of like,
Yeah.
I guess
like my kids are only in school for like 6
5 more years, and then by that time I'll have my sailboat. It's fine. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
All right, let's get out of here. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. You guys watching the Olympics at all? Anybody watching the Olympics?
I turn it on every once in a while.
Yeah, I have to watch it. Andrea loves it. We were watching, and I don't want to get her name wrong. Michaela Schifrin, is that right? Michaela Schifrin was in my opinion, and I think everybody's opinion, going into these games, the favorite for gold medal, and I believe, is it the downhill slalom skiing?
Yes.
Like that traditional big boy event, right?
Yeah.
So short of the long is, on her first run, she crashes out, and then I was watching live what would have been her second run, sort of like this redemption run, like where if today she can gather it all back again, you could see her standing at the top of the mountain. She was standing up there doing like a meditation, skis ready to go. Boop, they call, is she ready to go? 5 seconds into this ride, goes a little too straight, can't make the turn, misses a gate, boom, she's done. DNF, does not finish. So this is her second time. First was a crash. Second was a did not finish.
Yeah.
She kind of skied over to the side of the route that people were skiing on and collapsed, sitting on her butt on her skis, and seemingly sat there while the commentators talked to her for a solid 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then a response came from my wife, which I did not expect, but she is this type of person, and I know what she meant by this. But it made Andrea very angry. Like, Andrea was like, get up, be an adult, be a bad loser. You got to be a good loser. Stand up, be proud of all the accomplishments you've had, and allow other people to come down and ski without you being a distraction or a focal point. I agreed
yeah.
with her. I was with Andrea 100%. I agree. Now, I'm not saying I can't put myself in her shoes. I've never done anything that's that much pressure on me. I've never had an entire nation depending upon. When they say that, by the way, too, I want to let her know that I do not depend on her to win the gold.
Honey, it's okay.
Yeah, NBC says this.
Fine.
That's just propaganda.
yeah.
When NBC says the entire nation is well, I'm not counting on you to do anything other than go there and have a good time. Seriously.
Maybe we should have them stop saying that so these
Stop
people
saying
don't
it.
freak out
That's my
when they
take.
lose.
Yeah, stop saying it. It doesn't mean that much to me. In fact, I want you to go there. I want America to win.
Have
I'm
fun.
USA.
Yeah.
I want
Try
us
to win,
I
sure.
want us to win all of them, but not at the sake of you losing your mind. No. But I do agree with my wife. If you're going to lose and if you're going to crash out or 5 seconds down the run, it doesn't go your way, be an adult and get the hell off the course. It did bother me that she sat there kind of in like a crumpled heap. That because when you're and again, I know this sounds harsh and people are like, Dan, you don't know. Like, again, I don't know. But there is a level of like, I don't know, of being a good sport that I have within myself. And I'm not going to ruin it for anybody else. I'm not going to take any shine from anybody else. There are other people behind me, that need to still make their runs. So I owe it to them and to the Olympics
just
to
as
get
hard as you, yeah.
They work just as hard, maybe even harder, because maybe they don't have the natural talent you have, right?
Yeah,
I think naturally she's a prodigy skier. It was very weird. I did not like the fact that she seemingly was like, I'm going to sit here for an extended period of time and have a parade of people come and console me. I get it, but I don't get it.
Was she holding up the other racers?
I
Because
think
maybe she
probably
knew she wasn't, and that's why she
Probably at first, yes, but I still have a take on that. Probably at first she was, but she was off to the side. Then they started doing runs while she was still to the side. I still think that's disrespectful. Get the hell off the course. That was your run. You're not injured. You did crash out, but you're still a distraction. You were still a distraction to everybody else. When you came down, you didn't have somebody crying on the side of the mountain. My point is, you got to give it the same level of respect to everybody else that's coming down there. Just because you were the favorite, just because you didn't get the gold, just because you crashed out twice, that stuff happens. And you know that because you are a top-tier competitor. It just rubbed me personally the wrong way. I could be completely wrong. Everything I'm saying could be wrong. She could have been, it was fine that she sat there. Just me personally, if that were me, you got to get off. You got to go and do your soul searching, your freak out. You got to do that in private time and allow everybody else the respect of going down the mountain normally. That was my take.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Or could it be almost the opposite of like, I'm going to show how much this means to me. You know what I'm saying? Like how hard I worked. I'm going to like to get attention.
It probably
seemed like that.
involuntary in the fact that you do got to think like this person
and
has
so that the
dedicated
commentators
their
could be
life.
like, she's trained so hard, she's worked her whole life for this,
Yeah.
and she blew. You know what I'm saying? To make it more of a spectacle.
It would be
well,
like,
the producers, who knows what, because everything's
how is it framed?
Everything's a TV show, right?
Right.
So this is run by producers.
You got to
that
have some
tell
drama,
stories.
right? Because
Yeah.
who gives a damn about a person just going down a hill?
They need, and they're putting like NBC or is it NBC, right?
I believe so.
They put a huge amount of pressure on the producers to get better ratings, right? So then from that, the producers push and probably influence how things are filmed and want to tell a story, and then they hype someone up, and so when they fail, they want to get all they can out of the failure and the raw emotion of that. So they may have influenced her to like, hey, if you do, maybe they told her like, it's okay, just take as much time as you want. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure they said that.
But then it's like, but I agree with you. You gotta not affect other.
I'm sure they said that.
Athletes.
Dan Paul in our Twitch chat room said, maybe if you were looking at this as if this were the last run of your career,
Right.
that maybe you would have wallowed in your doo-doo as well. Who said this would be the last run of her career? She's 26 years old, for Christ's sake, and the best.
Yeah, but at 30, hard to get back to the Olympics.
But my point is that just what you're saying, Dan, is the answer to the question. I believe if you are 26 and the best and you fully grasp what you're doing out there, then you would have the level of respect and apply that to every other competitor. Because that's what truly makes you the best.
Do we think there's any chance that she actually checked herself so hard that maybe she knocked the wind out of herself and needed a minute?
That's
or was
possible.
it too long?
Yeah, no, that's possible. It looked more like and again, that's why I preface all of this by saying I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But it looked as if she was being consoled.
Okay.
And that's fine. Look, I've had to be consoled many, many times. But if it's impeding, to me, it was an odd look.
Be consoled from 15 yards in that direction so people can.
How about just take yourself off the course and just go behind closed doors?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Although
Cry alone.
although
no, cry alone, but don't. But
No,
be
I get what
respectful
you're
when you
saying.
cry. I'm not going to let my temper tantrum, which it could be considered that, right? I'm not saying that she threw a temper tantrum, but if Tom, if you had something to do and I went first and I screwed it all up and I just kind of sat there and were impeding you in some way or just being around there, it's a distraction. It's a distraction.
Although I've never, and I don't even know anybody who's ever been in that position where, because the Olympics are, I've known people that have wanted to play like professional sports and went through college and tried their hardest and never got that chance or whatever. But never someone who was expected to win a medal at the Olympics and that have trained their whole lives to get to this point. And I don't know if she's been in the Olympics before. At 26, it makes sense. She was there.
She has, yeah.
Earlier.
And she's won I think she's won I want to say 83 world. It's a lot. I mean, there's no doubt that she is the best, which again, I think can go both ways, right? It can either work in a way where it makes you the person that sits and cries, or it makes you the person that, look, I've won everything else. Like Michael Phelps, I like the way he does it. Like he doesn't do as good, and fine, I'm out. No big deal. Let me get my bong.
And then for a lot of these people, those medals are a way that extends your career or helps your career, obviously, because then if you're an Olympic gold medalist or an Olympic medalist, your appearance fees go up. Your training, what you can
all sponsorships,
even
your teaching. If you decided to be a teacher,
so you blow it, and then now you may not ever have a chance, and then you're like, wow, I just did a tremendous blow to my career and my legacy and everything. The sport, everything I did, all this, I blew it. And that's got to be a crushing. And it's yourself. It's not even like happenstance. Like, a lot of times in sports,
the measure of a man is not what happens to him. The measure of a man is how he handles what happens to him. That's what I would
as
say.
far as numbers, and because I love numbers, in terms of diminishing returns, how does it work with gold medals? You won 1, you won 2, you won 3, you won 4. At what point does it just become I have won multiple medals? Like, at what point are you just, I'm good?
3 seems to be the demarcation point of that's we judge a lot of things.
2 isn't good enough.
It isn't. And 4 is not necessary.
Yeah.
I think he's right.
Okay. Well, 3 is when we hit the dynasty level of championship. So I think in gold medal terms, it's the dynasty of gold medals. Like you get 3, anything over 3 is about. It's not exponentially better. It's
until you get to 10.
Nah, I don't even think that, because then,
Okay.
then it's novelty. Then it's like, all right, well, you were born better than every human. So it's not even about you anymore. It's about this gift.
Well, but that's my point. She is that
whether
level
it's
good.
God or
look up her pedigree,
genetics,
Sam. Look up her
too
resume.
easy.
No, Tom, maybe I should have led with that too. That would, the more details and information. Imagine that, Dan. The more information you guys have on the show, the better you guys can discuss this. She is that level good. Like, if you look at
2-time Olympic gold medalist and World Cup alpine skier, 3-time overall World Cup champion, a 4-time world champion in slalom, and 6-time winner of the World Cup discipline title in that event.
Yeah, there's nobody better than her. She is the best.
Yeah.
It just so happens that these 2 runs,
and she ruined it herself, and maybe that's the real
no one
bummer.
to blame but you. Yeah.
If she would have finished and finished a split a second slower than the other, and then didn't medal, at least you could have said, well, I may have not, lived up to my expectation, or I turned a little too soon. That you can nitpick her run.
Well, that's what they said. They said she went too straight and then didn't have enough.
She messed up huge, and that is probably an amateur move for her and out of her character, and then that's probably devastating because now you didn't even give yourself a chance. It's not like you were a little bit slower.
Here we go.
You didn't even,
read that one, Sam.
She's the only athlete, male or female, to have won 15 races in the same calendar year, winning the last slalom of the 2018 season and simmering and surpassing Marcel Hirscher.
Yeah, so she's the best of the
She's
best.
better than even some of the dudes.
Yeah, they're saying the best skier. The thing I keep hearing, and maybe it means more to me than it even does to her. To me, somebody like me, when I hear this, a non-skiing, I've only skied one time in my life. But when I hear this, I'm like, don't worry about it. It's just the stupid Olympics, and it's the pandemic Olympics. You're the best. You're still the best. That's how I take it. I'm like, you're still Look
Yeah.
at what you've done. They're saying you're the best of men and women, not just women.
Yeah,
They're
but-
saying you're the best skier that's ever skied.
But then you
People,
get the...
yeah.
Sorry, Bob.
No. People like this that are like wired like this. They don't care about their past accomplishments.
They'd also be like, well, if I'm the best, I shouldn't have done this. I
Exactly,
shouldn't have
yeah.
blown this.
Well, that's what she said.
They
Her
wanna
quote is-
always win,
If
yeah.
you want to be really sad, go read her quote where she talks about, man, it pulled on my heart. I disagree with how she handled it sitting on the slopes, but it made me so sad to read her quote because she's like, this made me question everything I've worked for. It made me question why I even ski. And I'm like,
God damn.
oh my God. But
Let's check on her.
But
Is
you're
she
the
okay?
best.
No,
Again,
well, that's how those people are wired.
it is
like
how
that's
they're
how Tom
wired.
Brady's wired.
Yep.
That's how everybody's wired.
Boom.
Like, they don't
say.
live on their past accomplishments. It's always
No.
about the next one. And then who cares how many championships I won? I want to win the next one.
I want them all.
I want the next one. And then and when you can't win the next one, then you know yourself that you're now over. Like your reign as champion is over. And that's a hard pill to swallow, I bet. For these type, like, all of us are not wired like this. We could be like, whatever, like, tried my hardest. Like, these people aren't, I tried my hardest.
No.
These people, like,
no such thing as that.
If they did try their hardest, they would win. Like, and then they should always win because that's what they do and that's what they train for. And
Here's something
and
all-
that's their whole lives are about this.
Here's
for
something
Jordan.
that all parents, I think, can relate to. Christine in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TomAndDanLive. She says she's like Luisa in Encanto. She's worthless without her gift. Maybe she feels that way.
Yeah, maybe she thinks that's all she's good for.
Yeah,
is skiing,
if
and then
you
she
read
blew that.
if you read the quote, that's exactly how she feels, and I
So
feel bad.
sad.
It is. It's really, really sad.
Well, it's an interesting thing too because I think about it with my sons, and I'm like I want them to be more driven, even though they're too young to even be.
They're never
now,
going to learn to drive.
but it's
just
like-
let them be driven because we're all going to be driven.
And then you look at the most successful people, and they're driven like crazy, but a lot of them to the point where that's all they do, and it's an obsession, right?
And that's not a good quality of life, I don't believe.
Well, it's how they're wired, so they can't do anything else because that's how that's how they work. That's their personality. That's their life. But we all look at it, and I do look at it too. I'm like, man, I don't want that life. Like, all you do is work all the time. That's all you think about. That's all you do is like you work towards the next. But that's how the best of the best are. And there's no other way to be the best of the best without being that. And so the rest of us look at that, and there's kind of a sadness because you're like, you're not getting at least in our opinion, like a mixture of everything. You're not getting a good balance of like family and friends and work. It's just all work. But that's how they're wired.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want my sons to be wired like that. But they'd be the best if they were. So it's hard for me to and they're not wired like that. I don't have to worry about it. But it's the people that are. If they fail, they are
It
devastated
hurts.
by it,
Yeah.
and they
It
can't,
hurts.
But there's other people that have failed that walk off and be like, "That's on me. It should have been better." And then it's like, and
Those are the
and they
people
got
that-
time to get to work again, and
Yeah.
so they don't even revel in it.
I love the people that seemingly can handle the. Who do you think? Just to kind of connect this, has there ever been a person that you've seen that lost something that they thought they had it in the bag, and where they handled it both incorrectly and correctly? Because I guess that's subjective too, right? I mean, like she's going to handle this however she needed to handle it. It's hers, right? And the way she handled it was just fine. I'm just giving my opinion on it, which is meaningless. My point is,
how are the commentators speaking about it? Were they also saying,
everybody,
she's got to get out of there?
No, nobody
No.
was saying that. That's
Okay.
what was surprising to me. Just because to me, I don't know. Like, there's a huge part of me that like I don't want to be in people's way, and I'm an emotional person, right? Like, so I put myself in her role, and there's a level of anxiety that I got even just having her still be out there. It's like I'll get out of here. I gotta go. Like that's how I feel all the time. So I was feeling that.
See, that's why I'm thinking maybe some people don't think that she handled it the wrong way. Maybe they think
I don't-
it was justified to sit there and cry or
Oh,
whatever.
I think I'm in the minority for sure. I think.
So then it's hard to answer that question of someone handling it the right way or the wrong
Well,
way.
like,
I
I've
guess if
seen-
someone gets like physically violent with some, you know what I'm
like
saying?
John McEnroe, like where a guy
That
would
guy's
he'd
awesome.
get a call and he'd literally flip. He'd like lose his mind. Totally not professional.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, you're getting mad at your disagreement with maybe a subjective referee, and then I can understand. But like, it's all about being a poor sport or a good sport.
Well,
right?
like golfers, I've seen do it. There's been golfers who have hit a bad tee shot. Famous golfers, and then like broke the club over their leg or thrown it into a lake. Like,
you don't have
I think
control
you're
over their
breaking
emotions.
stuff,
yeah, baseball players do it, you know?
Yeah, where it's weird too, because like, well, you have the discipline to work this hard to get here, but don't have the discipline to not break your club or freak out if you fail.
Right.
You know, it's like, wait a minute, do you have discipline or you don't? Because you're showing that you don't. Like, if you have the ultimate discipline to do what like a Tom Brady had to do to get to where he is, you'd think that if you lose, you'd have the discipline to then react appropriately.
Yeah.
So it's weird being emotionally, like super emotional, but also you had the crazy, work ethic and discipline to get there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it just depends on how emotional you are, and whether you can even control it or not. But you're right. You can control it enough where you could be uncontrollably crying, but just go into the damn locker room.
Well, here's what I would say that we're seeing, and Bashley79 in our Twitch chat room brings up a good point that even kind of is altering even what I'm thinking about with this. I think, because we're talking this all out, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't like how she handled it by sitting on the mountain, but I'm going to go with something Sam said earlier and what Bashley's saying in the Twitch chat room. I think we have placed so much stupid pressure on these kids that go there, and I can say that now because I'm a dumb old man, but this whole
most of the time they start as kids.
This whole dumb
their whole life.
this your country's depending on you. No, we're not.
Or
We're
you're
not.
the worst.
We're not depending on you. I'm depending on you to do your best. That's it, and have a good time. I'm not depending on if you don't bring home a medal. I do not care. It doesn't matter. I don't know how many medals we've ever won. You know what I mean?
But
do you think the Olympics will eventually go away?
Yes.
How long is that going to be?
But
it's kind of already. It's already happening.
Less and less people pay attention to it now.
And what Bashley was saying in the Twitch chat room was an interesting part is that we are seeing athletes now reach their breaking point and decide to check themselves out.
Yeah.
Simone Biles, doing what she has to do to keep her brain right. Other people saying, hey, if I do that, I could injure myself. I'm out. Or I don't want to do this anymore. This is not fun. Andrew Luck. I love that story. Yeah, this isn't fun for me anymore.
Bye.
Yep.
Yeah.
weak.
There it is.
Wow. I'm just.
Are you talking about yourself? Because you almost died over there doing the coffee.
Why am I so weak? I'm weak too. I'm the weakest. But
The weakest link.
But you can't. I mean, yes, it does take. Obviously, you do what you do for yourself. Who cares about what anybody else thinks? And that's what everybody should do. But a lot of these people, though, like we all say, like, look how much pressure the nation's putting on there. But I think they do it themselves because they're wired that way. Like, I don't think these type of people, like the Shaun Whites of the world, like, are you talking about any?
How old is he now? Like 35? 30,
he's
something like that?
competing
Shaun
out
White.
there and stuff like. But all
older.
the athletes that got to this level, they are type A driven, crazy work ethic type of athletes that put the pressure on themselves.
Well,
I don't
Michaela
think,
is because she is the best.
Yeah, I don't think
She definitely is.
She's being pressured by. I mean, of course, there's the outside pressure and the people, their expectations.
But I think you're right. She calls the shots. It's
I
her
don't think,
show.
Yeah, I don't think there's amount of pressure that she could say that is any more than she puts on herself, and I think that's how most of these people are wired.
What were you gonna say, Joey?
I would say hats off to the people these athletes at this supreme level that have the psychological knowledge to know that, like, look, I've made enough money. This is just a job. After this job
They don't
is
even
over,
make that much money in the Olympics.
No.
I'm talking more
That's
back to the Tom
unfortunate.
Brady
Yeah, okay,
days.
yeah.
Sorry about that. It's
Yeah,
just,
that's
it's
good.
The people that walk away at the appropriate time, and that's
Yeah.
hats off to them.
and understanding, like
I'll never know the appropriate time. I was talking to Andrea about that. She's like, how long do you want to do this, broadcasting thing? You've done it like 20 years. I was like, I'll never stop. I was like, even when people are like, you're not, like, this is cringe, man. It's even right now, it's so cringe. Even what I'm doing right now. Oh,
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
cringe. I'm like, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Never stop me.
And then soon we'll be doing it in like some
It'll be bad.
some lunchroom at a middle school, like
That's what you think of me? I'm a middle school lunchroom podcaster?
I'm kind of equating it to like a wrestler.
I was going to say when he's at the old folks' home, he's
you
going to
mean
still be
like I go to middle schools and I'm like,
or
a
like
speaker.
they're doing.
do you want me to be like a Mark Marrow styled like positive speaker that goes around to schools And then what do I be telling him a tale of how I got into drug addicted podcaster and I've changed my ways? Is that what I'm doing?
Anything to keep doing this. Just the lowest of the low. Just
But what am I
because-
saying in the lunchroom?
You're trying to do your same jokes. You're just doing Buddy. You're doing all the you're doing the old man voice.
Puppet show.
Yeah.
I did that
He's got
yesterday.
Mr. Snarts
I did,
out.
yeah.
And then it has some sort of message at the end of like,
What's the message?
Don't do
Hey,
drugs.
don't do drugs. All right. Hey, I think we can all agree. Yeah, weed's not a drug, by the way.
And then you pack up your little PA. It's
not medicine.
And then you pack up your like.
Oh God! Then I'm like what was his name? Professor Geek, Dr. Geek, that rapper down on iDrive that used to have a boombox.
Yeah.
He was on the Blue Blockers commercial. There was if you look up the Blue Blockers sunglasses, they filmed some of that infomercial in Orlando.
Dr. Geek.
And there was a rapper, because this is why my memory is a rat that got eaten by other rats. Dr. Geek was a rapper, homeless man rapper, and he had a boombox, and then on the Blue Blockers commercial, they give him a pair of Blue Blockers and probably paid him and said like, "Hey, homeless rapper, rap about these Blue Blockers." And he's like, "My name's Dr. Geek, and I'm a hip hopper, and I love my Blue Blockers." I still remember it. It was on the commercial. I danced to it. I was doing the whole thing.
There's something inherently sad about doing those presentations. I think it's a lack of enthusiasm from the audience.
Yeah.
Like anytime you're talking to someone who doesn't care, it's sad, all right? Like they're forced to listen to you.
Well, I used to get a lot of them that would roll through DeLand Middle. We got Up With People, the real one. I got to see some heavy hitters in the circuits for. Sam, can you look up and see if you can find a list of the different groups that would tour in the 80s and 90s to schools? Because I got to see two of the biggest. Up With People, and then yes, Daniel Dennis got to see none other than, and they are trying to like sort of rip this off with Righteous Gemstones right now, but I got to see the real Power Team. Remember the Power Team?
Yeah.
They were the Christian weightlifters that would rip phone books in half on behalf of God and try and sign you up to be a Christian. And they are amazing.
I used to work with one of those guys at Joe's Crab Shack.
You used to work with a member of the Power Team.
His name's Andre. He's such a nice guy.
Don't say his name.
Andre.
Andre from the
Shout out to Andre from the Power Team.
He's a great dude. Him
Rip
and
me
his
a
wife.
phone book.
He's a youth pastor now. He's such a great guy.
He stuck with it.
Yeah, he's a wonderful
Good for
guy.
him.
Oh, he's authentic.
He was
All
that
right.
guy. It was so funny.
Yeah.
That was his thing. We went up.
Dude, Power Team. Look, I'm not a Christian. But I'm telling you right now, Power Team is dope.
And now-
It's way better than just having the preacher come to your school. I mean, these guys are ripping phone book and they're lifting huge weights or smashing things.
He's not as strong as he used to be, but you could tell with his arms, he's still strong. He's a
Yeah,
strong old
you
man.
can always tell by the arms.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
called the Paul Senior.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. It's Valentine's Day, or about to be.
Yeah.
No, it is.
It is, yes,
Yes.
you're right. Because...
I hope you got something more than a Red Bull for Crystal this year.
Oh, I forgot. Does Indy, our guest, does she know that one of the marquee gifts that you got your wife for Valentine's Day was a red plastic bowl?
that was for her birthday.
An even larger occurrence, right?
And it was a bunch of things, and it was supposed to show that I was thoughtful and I knew a bunch of stuff about her.
I
so
got you this bowl because it
She likes
holds
soup.
things. Yeah, that's
She
what it
likes
was.
soup.
Yeah, she likes soup, and then I got her that 70s
B
show
is
DVD.
for bowl.
Oof.
And then I got her a picture frame with a dog bone, and then put Alina's picture in there.
I heart my dog.
Yeah. You know, but everybody always
How
remembers
old
the
were
bowl.
you? 15?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Red Bull,
it's like
the Red Bull
28.
story. I think. Okay, we have a guest here. We have Indy here who's going to make us some drinks. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Indy, we love having you stop by. Did you know that Tom had purchased his wife a red plastic bowl for her birthday?
And it was not just that; it was a bunch of things.
But
and
a
it was-
red plastic bowl. Where if your husband gave you a red plastic bowl, if you open, did she open it or did you just hand her the bowl?
Yeah,
Did
you
put
know
the
he handed it.
You put the DVD and you put the other
a bow on
things
top.
in the bowl, right?
Yeah, of
the
course.
bowl was the vessel to
basket.
deliver.
It was, I forgot how I presented it to her, but I think it was in a box with all the garbage in there.
just throw it in.
Yeah. And then I wrapped
There's
the
a
box.
bowl in there somewhere.
Indy,
Indy, if you received a serious question, if you received a red plastic bowl from your husband, what would you say to him?
I think it's how he gives it to me. You know, it's like it's depending on the way that.
So if he walks out nude, bowl in his head.
I do it. I do it like
like Devo. He looks like Devo.
Justin Timberlake, D in a box.
Oh my god.
2008.
Andy Samsberg. Am I right? Am I right? All right. Let's get down to brass tacks.
So, Indy, you've been mixing, and you've got some. What are those? Tiny red apples.
There.
Here we go. Getting his fruit roll.
He's
You got
leaning
some
in this
strawberries.
Those are the biggest strawberries I've ever seen.
Hey, oh, you're allowed to say it because you got strawberries.
So I don't know if they're organic. Basically, is what we're saying.
What is happening right now? What does that mean? Dirty berries?
So, let's talk about just like mixing a drink for your significant other on Valentine's Day.
I've never done that. Do you know that I have never mixed a drink for a significant? That is a true story.
Really?
I have never.
Hold on, you've made Andrea like a Moscow Mule. I feel like because you were into making those.
You make her own.
I made 2 Moscow Mules
For yourself?
and I put one in front of her, and she takes a sip of it, and she's like a baby, and then I'm like, that's mine.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I do. She's not a drinker, you know, so any drink that I've been making has been typically for me. But man, a cocktail, I love a mixed drink.
Thank you, Andy. So,
All right, what do we got here?
Again, as we talk about this,
like Valentine's Day napkins.
So prepared.
we'll talk
this,
about the
guys.
drink and how to mix it, but we want to remind everybody to get all the ingredients at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Hashtag TDABC when you head by there and buy
Is it
your
good?
Yes.
Valentine's Day ingredients to make this cocktail.
What is that?
It's called 21 Seeds Love Potion.
21 Seeds Love Potion.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
That is delicious. And
I'm
it's not
hoping that it is because I kind of played around with the measurements due to
I like.
difficulties.
What's the tartness that I taste in there?
So it's you've got grapefruit or Valencia orange, 21 Seeds tequila. So that's going to be
good.
our base alcohol. Then we have Saint Germain liqueur and fresh lime juice and blueberries. So basically it's you grab 5 blueberries, which I wash before we came here.
Okay,
Just letting
all
you
right.
guys know I'm not
5
disgusting.
blueberries.
I wouldn't have minded, Indy. I'll eat
It's
anything that anybody gives me.
Yeah. I had a
no
dinosaur
question.
chicken nugget fall on the floor of a mall one time and I ate it.
Ooh.
I'm just giving her
I
an
scream
example.
at my son. My sons are like, well, you have to, like, I'll give them an apple and, like, you have to wash it first. And I'm like, oh, my wife indoctrinated them with washing all their fruits. I'm like, you don't need to wash your apple. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
Eat the sticker while you're at it.
Yeah, why not?
And
the
then-
produce place, they wash it, right? That's what they do. That's their job. They're the
supposed
doctors. The
it goes through some conveyor belt. I've seen, like, Reading Rainbow.
Wow.
yeah,
The water falls on the fruits as they shake it through.
When I'm over there I hear at Publix, I'm
The
picking
fake thunder.
Yeah, I hear the
Yeah.
fake thunder, and then they start misting. Publix is washing it. The plant is washing it. I'm sure some of the people that are picking the fruit are not urinating on it. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's fine.
so let's talk about this particular cocktail.
So I kind of pre-made them, but basically you're going to grab 5 blueberries, pour your tequila. It's 1.5 ounces of tequila. You muddle it. Then you add, once it's muddled, you add your ice, an ounce of Saint Germain liqueur, and a tablespoon of obviously fresh lime juice. Shake it really well, and then you just strain it and serve. And
Man, it is extremely good. 21 Seeds. I have never had that particular tequila before, but I got to tell you, it's really tasty. As a tequila man, like that's my favorite. You know, that's my favorite liquor, and that's a good one. Where is that from?
honestly, let's find out together because I am not.
It's delicious.
It's from Jalisco, Mexico, so it's where I'm from, Mexico.
There you go.
But it does have the Valencia orange in what I found out when it's made. So basically, they leave the orange peel so that when it's in the process of being made, it just all the essential oils of the orange get in the tequila, and it has that really nice like zesty flavor. But it's still you still get the tequila punch.
Yeah.
Indy, let's talk Valentine's Day and what would like you personally and like you know when you're making a night for your partner, you know it's the most popular probably dinner night of the year, and I feel like everything is going to be booked right? Because even if it's not booked and you got it early enough, it's going to be
Slam packed.
slammed. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's not like you're going to be able to like wait to the day before and ring on down to Cheddar's and get a table.
And
that ain't going to happen.
And you may think to yourself, well, like, okay, it's going to be slammed, but who cares? Well, we're still like in a pandemic, and still I feel like people aren't as comfortable being in a super crowded area just from the past 2 years. Even if you don't care about getting coronavirus, you haven't
Just
done
out
it.
of
So it's
repetition.
just like,
Sure.
So it's like, man, there's a lot of people in here. Like, so, and then like that, if that adds any uncomfortability to the night, then it's kind of like, what are you doing it for? Like, why not just put together a night at the house or a date night at home or dinner?
That's
where
what
you,
I'm doing.
Where
Also,
you cook
if you're
make
making
your own cocktail.
if you're making, let's say you want to make a bunch of these cocktails, it's safer. It just is.
Oh, yeah, you're
it's-
already at home.
Yeah, you're already at home.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's say, because
And you save money.
you did kind of make a joke about how, I'm skewing this. I left my jigger at home. I'm skewing this kind of thing on my own. I'm eyeballing it. But I got to tell you did a darn fine
Yeah,
job.
it
It
tastes
tastes
great.
really good. I like my drinks to be a little more on the, like, let's not cheap out on them. Let's put some tequila in it. It's a tequila drink. That's a good drink.
And isn't it all part of the effort because
Yes.
that's all part of it? Like,
And I'm a sucker for anything with blueberries in it because I love blueberries.
But like making your own dinner or making your own drinks, you're putting effort into it, which is part of the gift to your partner.
You
right?
know I love that because
Or-
I love cooking.
Yeah. And
love it.
So that's all part of so there's one thing about going out to dinner or buying drinks and like you're paying for it or whatever, but there's a lot more effort that goes into learning how to mix a drink properly and then presenting it and giving it and drinking it together, and like that would be all part of the night and the gift, right?
Yeah, well, like something that I kind of put this in the same category as for a while I wanted a real bar, not a bar that people come around, more like a bar cart for like my home, because I kind of put it in the same category as like certain things that I feel like men or women should always have, like a tailor or seamstress. I feel like you should have one of those.
Yeah.
Like you should know like general manners and general etiquette when like going out to a fancy dinner, and which cutlery to use while you're sitting at the table and normal table manners. But I do put bar cart in there. I kind of wanted like mixing a drink for somebody like your wife or having a party and you mix somebody a drink is very, to me, old world. And I put it in that same category of like, I want to have this little cart with all of my liquors and all of my mixers together and all the little proper spoons. And I don't know. There's something about that I feel like I'm at 45 now. I want a fancy, like mid-century modern 60s style mirrored bar cart with beautiful things.
The mirror is a must.
I saw one. There's one down here, man. There's a mirrored bar cart down here in one of these antique stores, and I passed it. It's over there in the right up the street from like Little Vietnam, and I saw the bar cart, and I think they want like $3,000 for the. It's an original like mid-century modern piece that's beautiful, but like I don't know. I put it in the same category, like what you do in like mixing the drink and the presentation and the muddling and everything. I put it in the same categories. Like it's very
cooking food. Yeah.
It's I like the journey of it. I just think it's cool.
So I really, I lost my mic or the headphones. Sorry.
There you go.
I love it. I love making cocktails. It's funny you were saying I do not have a mid-century bar cart. I think it's an IKEA bar cart that I bought off of
But
Facebook
you have a bar cart.
Marketplace, but it has a mirror.
Yeah.
And it looks nice. Like I have all of my seltzers there, and everything is neatly like organized by color because I have a thing with organizing.
Yeah, that's
things
what
by
I
color,
want.
But it looks so pretty at your house, and people like to go. They stare at it. They look at what I have in there, and I'm like, you should. I feel like it's like the grown-up thing.
Yeah, I like it. Like what little I want I want the swizzles. I want the top of the shaker that has the spring on it. I don't even know what that is. Why is there a spring on that? What's that, spring loaded? What is that?
What?
I want all of that.
Why did alcohol storage like adopt the mirror? Because it happens at bars all the time. And like, there's a regular cart
make
or a
sure
food
no
cart.
one's dosing you.
There's got to be a reason why they're like, well, put a mirror on it. That means alcohol. Same thing with like shelves.
I always
like,
thought the mirror behind the bar was to make it the illusion that they have more liquor back there than they actually do. I thought it was like a depth perception
Is it
thing
like a
for the
marketing
bar.
thing
No, I
where-
thought it was to open up the bar. So when you're
I
looking,
thought it was so you could see like the customers or whoever's
Yeah.
around.
in case
the
there was a
bartender.
shootout. Yes, of course. Paranoia. I'll be over here. Of course.
No, you're cleaning the bar. And there's you have a patron. You can see them behind
That's
you. without
probably
turning
right.
around.
They're trying to kill you. Look at that.
I had a legitimate reason, and you guys turned it
Sam
into
makes the most
paranoia.
sense. I have to say, Sam's make the most sense.
Thank you.
you're-
I'm the only one with goddamn sense here.
You're constantly like when you're bartending, you're constantly
Yeah, you're moving
looking
around,
back, moving around, so it's easier to see your the guests coming in. And,
So, so then they just like they're like, oh, if the bottles are on the cart, put a mirror under it, like because there's no reason for the mirror to be on the cart.
You're right.
I will say though, like because I like candles, so I like put candles in the bar cart, and the mirror reflects the light from the candle, and it just sets the mood.
See, it's
all about the mood.
You need one. You're close. His outdoor setup is pretty damn close. He's got a one refrigerator that he puts all his White Claw in, and he lines them up by color. So he'll have them all lined up. It looks really cool, though. You're right. There is something about the presentation of coming over there, and then you see it, and you're like, it's just better. You need a little cart. You have a cart. You have like a Margaritaville cart or something, don't you? Or a
We did. I punted that because it got all
good
rusty.
choice. It was Margaritaville. Yeah. It's
So actually the answer is actually a combination of what I said and what you thought I was
it's
saying.
Paranoia Patron.
Yep, I said back in the day, bars could often be dangerous places, and the mirror was put there to ensure people would be aware if someone was trying to sneak up on them.
So it was for paranoia.
Yeah,
No, you get this one. It was we don't get it. Yeah, you absolutely. You
Interesting.
win.
And then it became synonymous with
alcohol,
like alcohol,
yeah.
and then it's like just put the mirror.
Have your own, because it's like having your own home bar. So then people just kind of adapted it. It looks like interesting.
That is wild.
sense.
That is really neat.
So the sugar covered strawberry, right? Like that's another Valentine's Day tradition.
Or chocolate covered.
Chocolate covered,
Yeah.
yeah, some sort of like sugar covered.
I've never
fruit.
seen these, and these are actually more intriguing to me
These
because
are drunken strawberries, which I hope we all have one.
I'm not a
What is
fan of
that?
the chocolate covered strawberry.
So
But these I like. Is that a glaze? What is that?
it's white chocolate. So sorry about that.
No, no. White chocolate is not chocolate.
White chocolate with 4 ounces of white chocolate Irish cream liqueur. So I don't know where the camera is, but
It's
this
right
thing-
on the liqueur and your strawberries.
This thing is absolutely amazing. So basically, you just add 4 ounces of this, half a cup of white chocolate, depending obviously on the ratio that you're making. You pop it in the microwave. It says about 30 seconds in our recipe. I need it to do a minute because I bought the wrong chocolate. So really, it's just you're kind of eyeballing it. You blend it, mix it in really well, and you pour it over. But the most important thing, which I forgot, hence the Prosecco that made me late, you have to soak these in Prosecco overnight. So then you get them out, you damp them, and then you put the glaze over. So it's the 4 ounces of this with the white chocolate, and then you pop it back. You can eat it, like dip it. I just put them in my fridge for a little bit longer so it stayed a little bit stickier, and they're really damn good.
Cool them up a little bit and you're ready to roll.
How much alcohol can they absorb? You know, I always
Those are
wondered that.
big strawberries too.
Yeah,
How
like-
much alcohol can I absorb is the
A
question.
lot.
Like when you're pouring the alcohol into the watermelon, like I poured a whole 750 milliliter in here, so that's exactly how much is in there.
I like it when
But-
they get out like medical tools. They're like hypodermic needles, and I'm like, oh, this is
Injecting it.
completely unnecessary.
But-
I've done that with Grand Marnier with these, and then you fry them.
Oh, really? Okay, so but
you inject them and then fry them.
so but this is
crazy.
the actual strawberry is just absorbing
Well,
the
can
alcohol.
I'll have one. Can I have one?
Yes, please.
All right, which one?
All right.
I'll just take this guy in the front. They're ooey gooey too. I like that. All right, I'm going in.
Damn.
I'm gonna grab one.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna slip out of my fingers.
Oh my gosh.
Should you want more, there is more of the glaze there.
Well, that's the best thing I've ever had.
Yeah. Hey, that's really good. I mean, any sort of sugar-covered
Oh,
strawberry.
whoa! Mine's got a little something in it.
That's it? I
Yeah.
haven't. Let's see. I haven't had
Well, that's good.
I feel like this is a direct slap in Tom Brady's face.
This is like you didn't make the Super Bowl, and now we're gonna get strawberry.
Yeah, we made it worse for you. We poured chocolate and liquor inside.
Oh, those are delicious.
They're pretty good, actually.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that they had been altered really, other than the glaze. But yeah, you can taste a little bit in there. Oh, you guys are like Mouse biting yours. I ate like mine like a big fat, big fat sucker. I just threw it right in my mouth. You guys making me
Chungus.
I know. I just threw the whole thing in my mouth.
So Indy, when
That's great, Indy.
when you're making these drinks at home for Valentine's Day, what's the proper amount to make? That you say was not like too much. I mean, you because you make one drink and that is a good amount of work, but I feel like I could put it down pretty quick and then to make.
Oh,
a
you
new
mean
one.
like whip a couple up ahead of time?
Can you put it in a
good
pitcher?
idea. Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
No, I think she did. You did that once before with us. You made a pitcher, right, of
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do the same at home.
So you just multiply the ingredients to make a bunch, and that way you could just pour it.
Yeah,
in.
and usually like if it has ice, obviously just don't add the ice. You can chill it, but make sure that there's no ice in it because otherwise it's gonna water it down.
Sure.
But then you just have like a nice little pitcher that you're refilling, or that's when you just have like a nice welcome, like your welcome drink, as if you were at a restaurant waiting for the bar. Switch to wine, switch to beer. I don't know, pick your poison after that.
Yeah,
Could
there
be
you
a good
go.
option, but it's always just
I love it.
I think it's like a nice little touch to start the night out that way.
Yeah, I agree.
So what's the etiquette?
You should do this before you go out to Jim Jeffries, right? Because you guys are going to Uber, right? Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, you have everything you need on a platter to make the night perfect. You've already done the hard work. The hard work was you remembering to do the big thing, right? And you've already done that. You got the tickets to Jim Jeffries. You already know you guys are going out doing your thing.
Well, can we tell the real story about the Jim Jeffries? My wife won't hear this.
What's the real story?
Well, I remember I got the tickets, but I got them because my birthday is the day after Valentine's Day. So
you got it for yourself.
No, I saw Jim
Hold on a
Jeffries is
second.
coming.
You didn't tell me the. I love that. I love how I'm supposed to. Can you tell them the real story? I'm like, I can tell them.
We
the
don't
story.
even know what it
I can
is.
tell them the real story you told me. I can't tell the one
Yeah.
that's trapped in your mind.
And then so I saw it came out on the social media, and then it was like, oh, Jim Jeffries, February 11th. And I'm like, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm like a grown man. I have money. I'm gonna buy tickets because for years the radio. I don't know.
Well, why? I guess the other question I would ask is why are you telling this? Why not just
Pretend.
I'm telling. So
He's
then,
drunk on these strawberries.
really? I said because I forget often that I could buy tickets to events. Like I've spent 10 years at the radio station.
you work hard?
Just
You make money. You work hard. You're a grown ass man.
It was always just free tickets to everything because the radio station
then you
always
just sit
had
in the
free
back.
tickets.
You know, you have
I know,
free
you get
tickets
the
to
worst.
WrestleMania. Next thing you know, you're working a spotlight.
And then so I never paid for tickets, and so then after that, like I just can't ever buy tickets to anything because I'm so used to grifting
my
them
God.
for free.
The chat room
Bougie
is
as hell.
the chat room is roasting you sideways because for the last 2 weeks you've had me basically crapping on myself for not doing really anything for my wife for Valentine's Day and singing your praises, heralding you as a hero for getting these tickets and planning a fun night out with your wife. And now you're gonna yank the cover off of it, and the whole thing was a
And he's
lie.
already told us that he's making her find the place to eat.
No, but
He's not
she's
even picking a place.
Well, she's too picky. So I can't. She's vegetarian, and I'll go to the meat house.
But you know she's a vegetarian, so you can.
Yeah, I don't know what restaurants have
Google.
to offer. And then they always like, vegetarian options.
Yeah, we got lettuce.
And then they always want to get like salad, green beans,
water. We know those people, sure.
Anyway, so I see the tickets, and then I'm like, I'm gonna get this, and then I'm gonna get it, and then I'll surprise Crystal with saying like, hey, we're going on a date.
Does she like Jim Jeffries?
I mean, she's watched it with
Oh
me.
my
But
God. She doesn't even like
Here's the thing. Here's the real
But I'm like,
crazy.
I'm gonna buy
She
myself a
thinks-
birthday present.
Yeah, she thinks they're going to see the ghost of Jim Varney.
And so then I got the tickets, and then basically
Free tickets.
No, I bought them.
Okay.
I bought
All
them.
right, all right. That counts. That counts.
I thought about reaching out to Dr. Phillips because I do have a hookup there.
You
and
do.
I was gonna
You reached
start
out to him yesterday, but for an unrelated reason.
But I didn't this time. I'm like, you know what? Again, I'm a grown man. I make some money. I'll buy the tickets.
If I want Jim Jeffries tickets, I'm getting them.
And then I was like, 114.
It's
Freaked out.
expensive.
Or whatever they were.
It's
I was like,
expensive.
oh God!
It's a stinger.
And then
Put the
almost
lettuce back.
almost backed out and emailed up like, hey, well, promote this. If you hook me up with some tickets.
You know what I like to do? I like
That's what I
to
usually do.
have it sitting in my cart, and they give you that 15-minute countdown, and I
Yeah.
like to fire off the email to the person at Hard Rock or Dr. Phillips, and then I sit there and say, "You have 15 minutes."
Then I'll buy him as long as. Anyway, so I got him, and then in the last week, like Crystal was talking about, like planning out the weekend or whatever. So like 1 week ahead, that's a million years away. Anyway, so she's like on Friday, and then I was like, oh yeah, Friday, and then I'm like, hey, guess what? I got tickets. To a comedian, and then she goes, "Oh, you got tickets for a Valentine's Day date?" I'm like, "Yes."
Oh, okay.
So I still get the credit
all right,
because I was quick enough on my feet to just agree with what she said.
I'm with you. It counts.
And then it counts because then I switched my mind because yes, I did do it for Valentine's Day.
It's a pivot that only the Navy SEAL of disorganization can do, right? I give you full credit. That is a Navy SEAL level pivot.
Totally forgot about Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you said it right.
And then so anyway, still get the credit. Forgot my whole point, but Indy.
That's good.
Andy, what do you think about this?
So,
how are you taking this?
it.
What do you think of Tom's decision to
back.
lie to his wife about the ticket?
So now she knows about his Red Bull scenario.
Red Bull?
Red Bull.
Oh, Red Bull.
He's just not. He's not a great
he
husband.
wanted to be Red Bull, but he ended up with Red Bull.
Write this down. Energy drink named Red Bull. And then same exact
Sue, you crazy.
So, Indy.
Tom fired Red Bull.
This is the question I was going to ask. So, what is the, I guess...
she's just laughing at you the whole time. Like she's not even like listening to you.
Is it acceptable to go out on a day around Valentine's Day and then give it the credit for Valentine's Day, or does it have to be
like Valentine's
Day?
Adjacent,
or like on day of, like you have to celebrate Valentine's?
It's a Monday this year.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It kind of sucks.
And then you go out to, so like going over the weekend and then giving credit to, I feel like a Halloween, right? People have Halloween parties like 2 days before is the weekend.
I can't understand a word you're saying. Halloween, Valentine's. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I can't speak.
He's drunk.
It's the tequila.
I know a guy has one pumped up strawberry. He's lost his mind.
So what say you, Indy?
I think it's fine. I don't like. I'm pragmatic in that way, not about many things, but like, I mean, celebrating is celebrating.
You
Doesn't
don't
matter
seem
when.
very high maintenance at all to me. You seem very like roll with the punches, down for a good time, just kind of doing your thing.
I'm gonna tell my husband you said that.
Oh, he doesn't think that way? Okay. No, but I mean,
I
like my
try to
wife's
be-
a planner. Like everything's gonna be planned out. If it's not planned out, then she's got an auxiliary plan for it, and there's nothing can be spontaneous. Like I could never go to Andrea and be like, hey, I got us a ticket. We're going to fly to New York City tonight. Don't worry about Maisie. She's staying with your mom. We're going to go. We're going to have dinner. We're going to spend the day in the city, and we're going to fly back late that night. She'd never do that.
I just always grew up with like, if you make plans, God laughs at you. So I've just always like remembered that. And I'm like, whatever. Like you plan it, but then if it doesn't come out, I mean, just enjoy it either way.
There you
Try
go,
to
Tom.
enjoy and look at
There you go.
best case scenario type of thing. I don't know.
Indy,
Enjoy your lettuce.
I have one last alcohol related question for you because like you made this particular drink with tequila, but we've used like vodka before, and rum before. How interchangeable are the actual alcohols with the recipe?
you don't want a bourbon in this.
I was about to say, I'm like,
a bourbon is that is very specific, but I mean,
Some
like
people
a
are
vodka
yeah.
is kind of similar. Like, could you? It seems like vodka and tequila are kind of interchangeable a little bit. Compared to the
that would
rum.
be your easiest.
More so,
substitute,
yeah.
I
I've had
think.
different people try to. I had actually a guy email me who said, "Hey Dan, I know you like Negronis. I make this particular drink that's very much like a Negroni, except I use a whiskey in there. And I've had different drinks where they substitute, like for the gin, a whiskey or something like that. I'm not a big fan of it. I usually, for me personally, I go a little bit like." If it is what it is, then give me that. I kind of like the traditional aspect of the drinks. But yeah, for this one, what could you use in place of tequila?
I would just do vodka.
Vodka.
Actually vodka and gin, because gin goes really good with Saint Germain.
Okay.
Also, like I have a rule of thumb that I stick to the color of the alcohol, because like I would never put bourbon, scotch, anything in that. It's just, it would not go well at all. And then rum, it would be a little too sweet, but you could adjust how much lime juice you add, and that may work.
So rum is kind of like the blade of liquors. It can go with clear and brown. It can get interchangeable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's also so sweet.
It is sweet.
So
Yeah.
you've got to be careful, and it's just about adjusting.
The
you know.
sickest I've ever been is on rum.
Oh, rum will mess you up.
Yeah.
We do have a question from the chat. Our buddy Norm, he's not really an alcohol drinker, but he wants to start getting into some cocktails.
Yeah.
But he wants something that's sweet, but that is also manly. Do you have any suggestions for that?
Sweet and manly.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point that Norm brings up as far as like saying a drink is girly or manly.
Right.
Like I never
Put
subscribed
a gender
to that.
to it.
Like,
Yeah.
well, because
like,
We're
fruit-
drinking a
it's-
pink
it's-
drink
people
right
do
now.
it all
but
the time
it's-
with White Claw.
Yeah.
When every time
Yeah.
I bring White Claw,
It's
like
so weird.
I brought White Claw to a poker game. It was Jimmy's poker game because he hangs out
Oh
with
my
you
God,
know
you're
who.
outing him?
No, it's like I brought some White Claw there. Everybody's making fun of me. They're like, "Oh, White Claw."
I got a White Claw here.
Got your tampon in?
Yeah. Don't show us your underwear when you sit down.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, and they were making fun of me. I'm like, what? I'll drink more of these and you'll have
He starts
beers. I'm a bigger alcoholic than you are. That's why I'm drinking the White Claw.
Yeah, well, most of those
Get out of here.
Like, you got a guy that's sitting there, like, making fun of me. He's drinking, like, what? A Coors Light. I got a White Claw Extreme. I'm blowing my shoes off. What are you doing? You're over there wasting time.
4.5%
I
over there.
literally have a surge in my hand. I'm drinking a White Claw surge, and I'm
8%.
blowing my pants off. What are you doing? It's going to take you 3 drinks to get where I'm at, dog.
You're drinking some.
You're not even on my level.
4.3
Not
Bud
even
Light,
on my, you're not even on my level.
and you're sipping it. It stinks. Anyway,
Call me when you want to play with
sorry,
the big dogs.
Andy. Yeah.
When you walk up and you got some sweet dark. If you got the dark blue cans, we're just talking about White Claw here. But if you walk up and you got Coors Lights, I'll slap your teeth. But if you walk up, you got the dark blue surges. You're rocking some what is it, like a blood orange surge? Give me 3 blood orange surge and I'm dead.
What's girly about this? There's a bunch of alcohol in it. I'm
Right.
getting drunker than you are. Like, oh, you're drinking a beer? I'm like, this is drunker than you. Sorry.
Than you.
Plus, I like the fact that I went a long way to do this. This is going to get me drunker, and there's 5 muddled blueberries in here. What did you do? You didn't muddle any blueberries. You did nothing.
Yeah. I know.
It's straight up alcohol, basically. I mean, you're getting your antioxidants on top of that. I'm
Exactly.
saying.
Yeah, it's healthy too.
Norm, I would say like a lemon Collins. If you're into like, just be careful because they are so light. Like you'd barely
Lemon
feel the
Collins?
gin. Yeah, or not lemon. I said lemon Collins.
A
but
Lemon
that-
Collins.
Yeah,
I'm Lemon Collins. I'm the most sour attorney in town.
Tom Collins is what I meant to say. A Mai Tai is not terribly girly either.
Yeah,
and
I
if
like a
he's
Mai
just
Tai.
like if he's just starting and he likes sweet drinks, a Mai Tai is not terribly girly and it's sweet.
Yeah, like I remember girls in DeLand that like Stetson girls, if they weren't drinkers, they'd always get an Amaretto Sour.
Okay.
And I remember tasting one, and I was like, "This is garbage! Like, just get a
Yeah.
beer. Like, that is nasty."
And by the way, any quote unquote girly drink, if you put a beach vibe to it, it's fine.
Yeah, it is. Ask
Put an
Kenny
umbrella.
Chesney. Kenny
Yeah.
Chesney's been doing this for years. I mean, that
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
everything he sings
If
about,
you drink it on
how
the
he
beach, you're
dresses,
fine.
everything is for girls. But he's just like, "No, I'm a cowboy," and I'm like, "All right, I believe you. That's fine."
Yeah, because it's beach vibe,
Yeah.
and then it goes back to the beach is a great equalizer of
It is.
all everything.
Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah. And
Sprinkle a little beach on it. It's cool.
Yeah, it can be as sweet as you want, pink, anything.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Andy.
You all right, buddy?
Don't say your name after that.
My God, you know what? You're gonna end up in court. Lemon Collins is standing there.
Your lawyer.
My client is innocent.
Who's innocent, I'll tell you.
Why is he wearing a cape?
I can't believe I said that.
I can. We're drinking. we're eating Prosecco infused strawberries. We're making crazy tequila drink. Yeah, this is what we're supposed to do. I think we did it right, Indy. I think we did it right.
Again, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. If you're getting any of the ingredients we talked about, head by ABC.
I really like the 21 Seeds. That's
It's really good.
as a tequila man, I've never had.
Me
I've
neither.
heard of, but never tasted it. It's good.
Yeah,
That
it
is
is
good
good.
stuff.
I think if you're also getting into tequila but you're not there yet, they have other flavors too. They have like a pineapple, it's cucumber and like lime, I think.
I've never heard
cucumber
of-
infused. So they do have other flavors.
I've never heard
but
of infused tequila. I know they've had it, but I've always done like infused vodkas. But tequila's always been, and I believe there are more health benefits if you are a drinker.
Yes.
I believe tequila would be the supreme Well, I mean, everything in moderation, but it is the most healthy of the liquors, I believe.
It's the sugar because it's made of the blue agave. However, if you're going to be drinking tequila, don't drink for health conscious reasons. Just stay out of the reposados because reposados have more sugar.
There you go.
So you want to stick to the like silver crystal, like just clear tequila.
Gotcha.
I found the infused one. It's cucumber jalapeno.
There you go.
What?
They
Dude.
also have a grapefruit hibiscus tequila.
That sounds great, too. I love grapefruit flavor.
And
That's
stay
why I
home
like
for
IPA
Valentine's
so
Day
much.
and get your alcohol delivered from you from ABC.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It's so convenient.
Yeah, let's get our plugs out of the way. Don't sleep on the
Yes.
vault, the deals that you can get, the coupons that you can use. Sometimes when you get deliveries, like I finally did it, Sam. And
so easy.
And when I did it, I just checked some extra boxes when I did delivery, and then they put some samples of stuff
Yeah.
in there. So like I got a little bottle of the proprietary brand of the
1941.
vodka. I was thinking of the show from Yellowstone. Sorry, the 1941. I got that in there. I got, and then I got some other thing. Regardless, whatever promotions are running at the time, they'll throw in some samples. Sometimes you get like some little sneaky things in there, little prizes and little
Yep.
treats. But that was only on delivery, right? I
Yes.
believe so. Only on delivery.
Yeah, but we also have curbside, so like you can also order online, and then you just call the store.
Yep.
Once you're there, they'll send you an email when it's ready for pickup. Obviously, you can always go if you're not really sure what to buy. Ask our experts. If you want more recipes, always visit our website because we have recipes, especially for Valentine's Day. There's also food recipes as well. So if you don't know what to cook, you can find a really, really good recipes there. So, that's another good resource. And we have YouTube. So if you're not sure how to create the cocktails, go to our YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
you do good videos on there.
Yeah.
Why do you get
A
so
lot of-
uncomfortable? They're good.
Because it's so cringy to watch them. Like there's a couple that I'm just like, what were you thinking?
No.
Like,
No,
girl.
never watch back
No,
your
no.
content. If I listen to the show, I'd never do this
But
for
we
a
have
living.
to edit them. So
Oh, you got to edit it yourself?
Not myself, but we have to make sure that there's certain things that they have to cut to speed it up. So just to make sure that the ingredients are there correctly, all of that. So
I
you're
think they're
like,
good. They're really good.
oh, I'm like listening.
No,
to
you
them.
do a good job. You do a good job. Well,
We
hey,
have a lot coming up.
thanks so much for coming in and for
Thank
doing
you
this.
so
You
much.
do an awesome job, and we love having you. And is there anything else we need to plug for?
No, just hashtag TDABC when you go by ABC. Indy, thanks again for coming by. We'll talk next month about maybe some spring break.
I know what that means.
Let's go to spring.
We're all going to show up in bathing suits? Is
Maybe
that what-
next time you come in,
They
we
got
can do
spring break.
we do a little Baywatch themed drink. How about
I
that?
want a little pool at here.
No.
Have you seen the new Pam and Tommy Rogan film?
I'm sure there's a beach that kind of thing,
Yeah.
like a Bahama Mama.
We actually, I'm
You're
gonna
my
plug it
Bahama
in.
Mama, Andy.
So there's a beach, the Mai Tai. We talked about Mai Tai.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. The blue. What is that?
You're my tie, Andy. Not anyone else's tie. My tie.
No, come on. Why would you say that? There's nothing way to make it awkward with him. Make it awkward. Make it Indian crypto. You're going to go back and
so
tell the
nervous.
bosses. Like, this happened to me at Clear Channel one time. And they brought me into a goddamn meeting. And I was like, I'm just joking around. And then
He did get it.
No.
It was with Hooters.
because they told it was
was.
their fault because they said
Whoa.
Whoa, where's Lemon
That's
Collins?
so
when you need
martini.
it?
You know what? You need to take a moment. You need to chill out.
no, I'm just
You're scaring
trying to
our guests.
defend myself because
That's what Lemon Collins is for.
Goddamn Lemon Collins. He's at it again.
All right. Sorry, Andy. I can't. Nobody can be professional around here.
Oh, we're not professional.
It's because the end of the day we invite the lady from ABC to come by and make us these top quality drinks that we get drunk and we get crazy on the show and then we're like, why did this happen? I know why it happened. It's a pretty easy equation.
All right. We'll see you next month, Indy. Thank you very much for coming by.
you.
Oh my
And we'll.
Can I do
bye-bye.
a last minute
Oh
plug
yeah,
in?
sorry. Sorry, I should have asked you that. That's
Who's professional now?
yeah, that's all right.
Also, like the Super Bowl's the day before Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So, like, go and get your Valentine's Day and your Super Bowl stuff at ABC.
Yes, be prepared.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my God! I have tears coming out of my eyes. The chat room is destroyed. All right,
They're dying.
That's the sign of a good segment. I think we did it. We did a good job on that one.
By the way, that's a recipe for disaster, right? Like, how many dudes are going to be
Yeah, I didn't think
ultra
about that.
hungover?
Yeah.
Anyway, mad
Oh my
'cause
God, you're right.
They lost a bunch of money on the GD Bengals because they swore old Smoking Joe would,
Yeah. Oh man, people are all going all in on him.
Joe Cool would be would win the Super Bowl, and then they all lost money. They're hungover, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh God, Valentine's."
Yeah, it's definitely setting itself up. There are a couple times when like certain holidays land, like I think the Super Bowl landed one time right before, like I forget what it was, but it was like they said 70% of the U.S. workforce was like not at work or something. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
some
People take the day
crazy-
off. Anyway, all right. Bye bye.